Hi everybody, I wanted to share with you a site that I've been working on for the last week or so. Hi Rachel, how are you doing? Got some of my past wedding clients coming on here, which is awesome. I've been working on a WordPress site development for Polly Alexander. Polly was also my business coach for 6 months last year. And so I wanted to share with you this beautiful website and just go through a few little things, how we made it happen. So this is one of these, it's a parallax scrolling site, so it's a full screen site, it's fully responsive. As you can see, the text moves over the image. Beautiful photography by Wendy Yallum, and she's based in the States. So a lot goes into a site like this, and a lot goes into, thanks Social Robin. A lot goes into making a site like this and turning a site around quickly. So Polly worked with a designer called Rose, and they came up with like a flat design, and some things translate, some things don't. So what we did, I work with a developer very closely here, and we take flattened designs and make them into a WordPress site. And this is based on a WordPress theme. I recommend, if you're going to work with a designer, that you consult with a web development person first, just because a lot of things that maybe a print designer would do don't translate well onto web. Things like fonts, things like how nowadays everything's got to be responsive. So if you see how if I move the browser, the text moves around, the image moves around, and then it will look different on, let's say, an iPad might be around here, and a phone will be here. So you'll see nowadays everything has to be fully responsive. If your site is not fully responsive, then Google actually penalizes your site, and it's not going to come up in Google searches as highly ranked as maybe it used to be. So if you're finding that your site's dropped off the rankings in Google, it could be because it's not mobile responsive, and it can drop right down. So you just need to be aware of that if you're going to do a new website, making sure that the WordPress theme that you choose is fully responsive. Yes, and there's some really robust themes out there nowadays. Things have changed, like even in the last year. So I highly recommend working with a developer who recommends a theme, and then your graphic designer would do things like creating the look and feel, the fonts, maybe things like the little social icons, things that maybe your logo and that type of thing. So developers tend to be more on the side of the coding and whatnot. This is Polly Alexander. It's a site that we turned around in 10 days, bearing in mind she had all the content ready. I made super organized folders in Dropbox with clearly labeled every page with organized folders within that. So I do the whole management of the process of websites, and then I have a developer who I work very closely with. And in order to make it happen within 10 days, thanks for the hearts, literally took over my life for 10 days, but I appreciate it, and I love the work, and I loved working with Polly Alexander. And it's very time consuming, and so I help women in business, well, anyone in business, but if you've been in business for a little bit longer, maybe 3 years or more, and you don't have the time to literally go backwards and forwards with a web developer, because what will happen is you need somebody with that design eye and somebody who knows your business. So I know the coaching business, I know wedding industry, creative industry, that kind of thing, because that's my background. And so I also have the kind of aesthetic eye and so on, and I know my clients really, really well, so I know what they're going to want. And so it just eliminates the clients having to go backward and forward. And so I would say spend the day with a developer getting it perfect, and then we go to the client maybe every second day or third day with the big amendments, with kind of the main things that we need. So my internet's a little bit slow here. I'm in South Africa, so sometimes we have internet being a bit slow, but we've only got like 2 meg broadband running at the moment. And coming from the UK where I had 50 meg, it's a bit of an adjustment, but I do live a 5-minute walk to the beach, so I can't really complain. And then this is her blog, which we created to have full-length portraits, which is quite interesting. Polly is also a photographer, and she tends to shoot more in portrait mode. And as you know, many blogs are kind of set up more to be landscape and to work with landscape images. So this was a way of coming up with a unique blog design that would show off portrait images. And so I think it came out really nice. Her designer came up with these little mandalas, the look and feel, and then as WordPress developers, we have to make the site work. So if you have any questions about WordPress sites, why we use WordPress, any questions about the kind of process of creating a website, I did do a scope all about the process of creating a website and just everything that goes into it in terms of spending money on a beautiful photo shoot to have amazing images like this, hair and makeup, outfits. If you're branding yourself, you've got to have beautiful images, and you have to have images that are going to work in a specific layout. So you need to know the theme and the site that you're going to work with, and then brief your photographer, and also thinking about leaving space for text. Because if you think about, like I used to shoot bridal fashion for You and Your Wedding magazine, and then we'd think of like specific images we're going to use for the front cover, and we'd need to make sure that we were leaving space at the top. So that goes for your website. It's no good having a whole lot of portrait orientation images, and you need full landscapes for websites. So it's just things like that. This here's really great testimonial section. There's me. I actually worked with Polly for 6 months, maybe more, as a business coach last year. She was my coach. And so testimonials are really powerful for a website. They show off your clients. How do you know if the theme chosen is mobile responsive? Okay, so if you do a Google search, there is a test on Google where you can put in the URL. So all of your themes will come with a demo, and the demo link you can put into the URL. And I'm just trying to think, if you just Google sort of Google mobile responsive test, it'll come up with like a test, so you can paste in your current website, and it'll give you a score and tell you whether or not it's mobile responsive. If it isn't, then you need to make a change quick, because Google will penalize your site if it's not mobile responsive. The other way you can also test is obviously look at the theme on an iPad, an iPhone, and see if it's responsive. You'll see here you can do it even with the browser. So you see how that would probably be somewhere around here, I'm guessing is going to be for iPad. And then if I make it even smaller, like say like this, would be, imagine that's your phone. So that's how you would see it on a phone. Okay, so that's what it means to be responsive. And these days, your images need to be at least 1600 pixels because of retina display. So because of all these beautiful retina displays that we have on mobile and iPad these days, your images need to be 1600 pixels, and then you need to have your developer optimize the images so that they are not too big. They need to be around 300K. So I hope I'm not losing you there. So yes, okay, thanks. Any more questions for me would be great. So yeah, you can check out pollyalexander.com, and that's the latest WordPress site development that I've worked on. And this makes me want to update my website. So it's always nice working on a beautiful site. You can see how the navigation, see at the top there, you've got the logo, and then as you move down the site, it becomes that sort of white bar. and that white bar would appear on the iPad version as well. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. And if you're interested, you can join my Facebook group. It's called Build Your Brand Online. Just do a little search for Build Your Brand Online. And I've got over 150 women in my group now. And I just post all sorts of inspiration things, things about how to create a brand using Periscope. So this group is a private group and it's a free group, so you can just send me a request. I did a 5-day Master Your Marketing challenge on Periscope, and then I've posted all the 5-day Master Your Marketing videos in Build Your Brand Online. I'm good. How are you? I've had a busy week. I actually need to go and have some self-care and have a day off, I think. So I hope you're going to hold me accountable. Woohoo! The test shows mine is mobile friendly. That is good news. Great. Are you using Wordpress? Because Wordpress is out of the box the best for SEO. So that's cool. Glad to know. So I'll show you my website. It's also WordPress. Now my website is about, 7 months old, maybe a little bit older. And so you can see mine is more traditional website. It's not that big infinite scroll. I still love my website, but I'm kind of feeling like I'd like to add a page for the business coaching that I'm doing. So I also do one-to-one coaching, teaching people how to market their businesses online, and I actually need to add that to my website. So my blog, this is my blog here. I've got this little Instagram plugin on the side, and then I've got call to action here where people can sign up for my newsletter, really, really important. And then I have my sort of monthly services pages. That's SegariusBruceServices.com. WordPress, great, awesome. And so Social Robin, are you also doing social media? I'm just wondering what industry you're in. And then testimonials, again, I've also got on my site, which is a really powerful thing to add to your site. So there's Polly, who's one of my clients, and you can just go through and see my clients: Claire Morgan, Julia Boggio, and Stella. I need to update my website with new testimonials. Adam Alex. So that's the thing, when you're working on other people's websites and other people's social media, you need to make sure that yours is also being updated, am I right? So this is my sales page. Okay, so let's just go back one more time to, if you're interested in prices or anything about the services that I do, my monthly service starts at $350 a month for 2 social media platforms. For a landing page. Maybe just message me. It depends how much goes into it and how unique you want it to be. So a website can be anything between $2,000 and $3,500. Just depends what you do, really, and depends who's doing your site, how much is going to go into it, and thinking about photo shoots. And so there's a lot that goes into a website. Whoopsie, sorry. So I'm just going to go one more time to Polly's site, which is my latest site that we've worked on, Polly Alexander. So this is an infinite scroll style parallax website. 10 days we did to turn this around, with a lot of organization and all of the content ready to go. All right, I will catch you either in my Facebook group or tweet me at Segarius Bruce if you have any questions. My website is Segarius Bruce.